All right. So the Scion comes with a four-cylinder, what is called a VVTi engine. What this means is variable valve timing intelligent. It's actually printed on the top. What this means is the engine is controlled by the onboard computer. And the onboard computer detects when there's issues, movements in the car, a whole bunch of different things. And then it adjusts how the cylinders fire. This helps in cornering with these cars so you can turn corners at higher speeds. This helps with general handling, general fuel efficiency. It's part of the reason why they get some serious miles to the gallon. The manual on this thing will tell you can get about 28 miles to the gallon highway, but my general view of it, I pull about 30 to 32. So anyway, now let's get started on this dismantling and we'll go from there. So for this, we're going to use the best socket wrench I've ever seen. My wife bought this for me for Father's Day from her and my girls a few years back. It's got an extendable handle on it. Pretty sweet. It's also got a pivot head on it, so you can get into some of those tight reach corners. But we're gonna get this gasket off, or get this cover off, and see what we got going on. Or get these swapped out, rather. We know what's going on, right? We got a bad cylinder firing. So like I said, pretty quick, pretty easy process. Engine's a little hot right now. I just got home from the office. Alright, so what I've done here is I've unplugged it. I've got the cap off. We've got our four cylinders here. I've already started to loosen this bolt. It's a little warm right now. So we're going to pull that off. And this whole bad boy just slides right out of there. Whole ignition coil right there. More or less, it actually looks in good condition. I think it's probably just like dirty or something else is going on with it. But I'm going to go ahead and replace it. And then later on down the line, I might decide to try to clean it out. Here's the new one that I just got in. Pretty sweet. Bit of a fiasco with FedEx, but anywho, story for another day. So the way this works, you just slide that bad boy right down on there. You put your screw back in there. Tighten this down a bit. And we're going to tighten it. Now, normally you would want to use a torque wrench to make sure you get a good spec, but I've got so much experience on this specific car that I can tell by feel if I've got it or not. So let's start her up and see what we... Sorry, blonde moment. I forgot something here. Won't work very well without plugging it back in. Now, normally you would unplug your battery before servicing electrical systems, but this is the ignition system, and in this specific car, as long as that ignition switch is turned off and the key's not in it, there's no power going to them, so we're good. Anyway, let's start it. Okay, so as you can hear, she's purring like a kitten. I've got a little bit of an oil leak, it appears. Seems I need to replace my valve cover gasket again. Anywho, so she's purring. Repair works. So that's all it really takes, and then you take the covering, you put it back up on top here, you bolt it back down. Now I will warn you, a lot of the times with these computer control units, you gotta get the OBD codes reset. So if you don't have an OBD reader yet, I highly suggest you get one, and then it makes diagnostics on these things so much easier. It'll tell you exactly which one of the cylinders is blown, the whole 9 yards. So we're gonna go shut off the car real quick and then get this cover put back on. Very important not to have the engine on when you're doing any form of work near it, because there's belts, and those belts move at some crazy speeds, man, and it'll rip your hand off. Let's just put it that way. With these nuts, because the way they're made, they've got a metal cap on them. If you're not too careful, you'll pop that cap off, over tightening it. Usually means you've pulled the stud out of the block. And then you gotta reset that stud in there, and that can be a pain. All right, we're good to go. See you guys later.